Hello there, everybody. My name is Gooch from Rock Band Industries, and welcome to the Shitty Podcast, where we talk about a barrage of different things, and we also do some reviews on certain products, movies, and video games, which I think is pretty cool all in itself. Sorry, I'm kind of having some trouble Englishing today. Um, yeah, okay. So anyways, today, as you probably know, because we've been talking about it for quite a while, we are going to do the first review based on Batman v Superman. Now, basically, there isn't a lot of themes for this, so, especially using PlayStation SHAREfactory, we're going to have to use the Batman Arkham Knight skins, well, pages and shit. Well, basically, I wanted to say stuff like, well, I wanted to go over the general premise. Now, basically, this review is going to go into spoiler type territory, and we're going to have to warn you a little bit in the intro. Anyways, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this review. Now, the main idea of Batman vs. Superman is basically a way to make room for the Justice League movie by introducing all of the characters and whatnot in a simple yet subtle plot, but also determines the close-minded behaviors of both Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Clark Kent, Superman. So basically what I mean by this is Superman is going after this Bat vigilante because of the bat branding, which Batman never really did in the comic books, which I just wanted to point that out. But the whole bat branding, and when this happened, Superman lost his shit, and so now he's trying to find out who this guy is and why he's doing this. And so of course the all of the stories going around about this bat person is that he's a demon, he's a thing, he's a monster. And which is basically pretty cool because that was the main premise of his first year of fighting crime. He was supposed to be a demon bat type figure. That was pretty cool, but I thought just the fact that they were fighting in the first place was kind of stupid. Because, you have Batman whose only reasoning for, trying to kill Superman is because he destroyed some Wayne property and Wayne tech people over in Metropolis, which is kind of ridiculous all in itself. I mean, you have an alien in your place. But enough about that. Sorry, that was just my personal thoughts. But Batman, he really has no idea, and I'm trying to bring this together in a way that maybe a couple of you guys might understand, possibly. But for right now, all I can really tell you is that they're fighting over stupid reasons, and well, really, they have no reason of fighting at all because they're just going to get along in the end, which I will get to in the next part of this video. Anyways, keep in mind that Batman v Superman, I'm not saying is a bad movie. I'm saying that there are a lot of flaws due to the fact that there's a hole in the story. There's just like this giant hole that they didn't, try to patch. It was just like, Batman's about to kill Superman, and all of a sudden, it's like, Martha, please save Martha. And then all of a sudden, Batman is just like, how do you know that name? How do you know it? And then everybody's doing their thing. I don't really know how you want to go about that, but anyways, my point is that the entire movie is just a whole. It's trying to have this awesome premise in which Batman fights Superman while also introducing the other members of the Justice League and all that jazz. So basically, hold on while we get into this next part. Thank you.
Alfred, I've located the source of the seismic activity.
It appears to be increasing in frequency.
I know what it is, and it's not good. Stop! We just lost 3 drones near the botanical gardens.
She just couldn't help herself. Deploy the Diamondbacks and Twin Riders. Take her out!
You just gave away your location.
It's time for Scarecrow to pay for what he did to me.
I hope you're ready. He's going to throw everything he's got at us.
I'll wreck his little tin toys.
Enemy spotted at the botanical gardens. Drone's been hit. It's still in the fight. She's picking us off.
Nothing can stop me.
Don't tell me this is it! You must have something more than a plant. How desperate you've become.
Diamondbacks hit. It won't take another strike. I'm flanking him.
Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there were some introductions to other series that DC wanted to make movies of, like Flashpoint, the Justice League, of course, which was basically the entire point of Dawn of Justice, was to introduce all the characters of the Justice League. But unfortunately, we got stuck with some minor characters, so luckily we don't have Green Lantern, but we have Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg. Which Cyborg was not an official member of the Justice League, he was a part of the Teen Titans. But I wanted to point that out just real fast, sorry guys. But anyways, just shoving in random plot points so that they could open up new movies, just kind of like how the Avengers Age of Ultron did, trying to introduce Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and other great Marvel stories. But this time it was just rushed in there. Not a lot of people liked the idea of it, and neither did I. I am a huge fanboy of of Batman and the Justice League, which is he's my favorite character actually, is Batman, and this just basically makes Batman look like an immature little punk that he never was. He was actually a very mature man, and he did a lot of things out of his ass sometimes, but otherwise he was very much justified. And I think that that's what really makes Batman a good character, but this just basically screwed him, and I didn't really appreciate that. Yeah, on to the next thing before I get a little too personal. See ya. And the good stuff is really just based in the character designs. Like, Batman is a lot darker in this one than he ever was in the Christopher Nolan films, which was supposed to be all about Batman and his dark past, which didn't really come to the forefront whatsoever in the well, yeah. God, fucking damn it. Sorry, guys. But, you know, it's all about the character design. I love the way that Batman sounds. I love just his design of his costume, not the big metal one that he used to take on Superman, but the one where he's just basically like flying around the room and beating the crap out of people, and he's just being shot from all angles, and he's just basically bulletproof. That's the greatest thing ever, and that's how Batman was meant to be. He was meant to be an indestructible force, basically basing his entire existence on Superman. So basically it's the god versus the demon. You know, and that's an awesome way of looking at it, and I think that's just perfect. It's the way it was meant to be. But you know, that's just my personal thoughts. I think that was the best thing about the movie, was just that. And they picked a really good person to play Lex Luthor, or at least his son, because he's like psychotic, which is like the best part about Lex Luthor, was the fact that he was a psychotic. It's the greatest. And the bad stuff is basically what I've covered before, like the use of unnecessary characters. And what I'm talking about is like adding the Flash in there, or adding Aquaman, or Cyborg, or Wonder Woman, of all people, and then taking away the fact that, you know, Alfred had a more useful part in the story than Lois Lane. But yet Lois Lane was doing more stuff than Alfred, and all these things are going on in the story without like any real recommendation towards the comics. And like, I understand that it's supposed to be a movie, and adding characters is fine, like I said before. But the bad thing is that they're giving a character who wasn't even a part of the original comic book a larger role to play. And it's all to just leave room for other stories in the DC and Justice League universe, like Flashpoint, or just the Justice League itself. And basically, it's a bad way of marketing. It's a bad place to actually do anything, is to leave room in a story. Oh no, looks like Batman v Superman is leaving room for the Justice League Flashpoint. Well played, guys. But anyways, again, these are just my personal thoughts, but this is what I've noticed, and the fact that they are fighting over the stupidest of reasons, which, come on now. When have Batman and Superman ever really been enemies, except for maybe like once? One time. And even then, Batman won and killed Superman. So this whole speculation that I was trying to solve has already been solved. Has already been proven that Batman would win. And this has happened several times, mind you, so, you know. But my entire point with this is just, people need to calm down. Because this entire idea that, oh no, this is gonna happen, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't talk crap about Wonder Woman being in the movie. Well, Wonder Woman was never a part of the damn thing, you know, like, when did Batman facing off against Superman involve the entire Justice League? Or when did it ever involve Wonder Woman in any way, shape, or form? No, it was Batman and Superman duking it out. That was what it was. And that's all it ever was meant to be. And when you say Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice is meant to be Batman and Superman. not Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman facing off against Doomsday. Of all enemies, they picked Doomsday, the death of Superman, and they did it. They basically just combined two different storylines into one story, which is also extremely confusing for people that don't know anything about the book or any of its outlines, because basically the original comic book wasn't even the death of Superman. It was just them fighting, and then they eventually resolve the problem and go face off against Lex Luthor, because he was the one that was, doing the thing, which they got that one right. But then the death of Superman part with Doomsday, that just doesn't work. Wonder Woman just popping in and fighting Doomsday as well. It just doesn't work at all. And I don't want to be picky, and this is just a little bit of nitpicking, but it doesn't work. You can't combine 15 different story arcs into one story just because the fans are like, oh my god, there's Flashpoint, oh my god, there's the death of Superman. It doesn't work like that. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be one story at a time, which is why I have problems with comic book movies, is because they try to leave too much stuff open for speculation when it's a superhero movie. Of all things, a superhero movie. Come on now. When I listen to these people talk about how, oh my god, did you see that? That was Flashpoint and the death of Superman and freaking the Alliance Chaser and this, that, and the other. The reborn of Cyborg or whatever, which was the New 52 version of the Teen Titans comic. And all this stuff that wasn't even introduced in the damn comic book. And it's oh, okay. I get it. They're trying to introduce all of the storylines to people that have never seen the comic before or never read it. It's it's fine. I understand. But it's ridiculous, and I think that you should really reconsider, I'll get to it in a second, my rating, but and now we are at the final part of the review, where we give the grade or final decision, which me and everybody else at Rock Band Industries has agreed upon. So basically how this works is it goes the good, the bad, and the ugly, where the good is where I describe the good stuff, the bad is where I describe the bad stuff all together, and the ugly is where I make my final decision, or at least we make our final decision. I will run it by everybody else, and if they agree, then that is the grade that we are giving this movie or video game or product. So basically, here we go. What I have decided for this is, well, it's a good movie. The movie was awesome. It was a pretty good movie. It's just all the unnecessary plot points, and it's just a giant hole in the story. Basically, the only thing that kept me from, leaving the movie theater immediately was the fact that Batman was really cool and was taking on Superman. One of my least favorite heroes of all time is Superman. So, what's not to like? And so basically, I sit here before you telling you guys, this is a really good movie. But the thing is that you are going to be extremely confused throughout most of the movie, due to the fact that most of it is just explanations that are not fully explained. It will explain why Batman hates Superman so much, but then all of a sudden it will cut to why Superman hates Batman so much. And then right in the middle of why Superman hates Batman, it cuts from that over to Superman saving Lois Lane from Iraq. Again, spoiler alerts. And so basically it will skip over parts of the movie that will make you, question why they even bothered making this movie. They weren't going to explain why they're fighting in the first place. They explain quite a bit as the story goes along, but the only thing that's really going to keep you going is Batman beating the shit out of Superman, and Superman almost winning, but then Batman pulling the final card. And then, there's that whole part at the end, which, again, spoiler alert, I don't think I need to acknowledge that at this moment, but Superman tells Batman that his mom is in danger, or, well, Superman's mom is in danger, and her name is Martha. Now, for those of you that don't know, Batman's parents consisted of Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne. So when Superman said Martha, Batman said, I'll help you, and so they ended up working together, which wasn't really a good way for it to turn out like that. Maybe what I was thinking is like Lex Luthor is about to destroy the world or something like that, and then, they end up having, like, they have to work together, and then they find more respect for each other by working together after being enemies. And I think that that's how it should have went, but it didn't. And like I said, it's a good movie, but also the unnecessary bringing of characters into a movie that's strictly about Batman and Superman. Because again, we didn't say Batman v Superman v Wonder Woman, Dawn of Justice. We said Batman v Superman. There's not supposed to be Doomsday, and there's not supposed to be Wonder Woman. It's time to wake up, guys. DC Comics is failing as a company, and I am really sad about it, honestly. I think it should have been a lot better than it was. But that's all I really can say about it. I enjoyed the movie, but it was better than what it could have been. Which is why I'm giving this movie a C. For effort, really. It's a C. And that is my final grade on this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video.